Welcome to My Books and Storytime by Mybooksandstorytime. Let's explore. Everything is Fcked, a book about hope by Mark Manson. Mark Manson is known for his blunt, no-nonsense approach to self-help, and Everything is Fcked follows that same path. In this book, he takes a hard look at the paradox of modern life. Despite having more wealth, comfort, and opportunities than any previous generation, people today seem to be more anxious, depressed, and hopeless than ever. The world is objectively better in terms of technology, medicine, and human rights, yet mental health struggles are at an all-time high. Why is this happening? Manson challenges the way we think about happiness, meaning, and self-improvement. He argues that the way we approach hope is flawed, and perhaps the real problem isn't that we don't have enough hope, but that we rely on it too much. Instead of chasing happiness and trying to avoid suffering, he suggests that we need to change our relationship with pain, responsibility, and meaning. He explores these ideas through philosophy, psychology, and history, using both humor and brutal honesty to deliver his message. At its core, Everything is Fcked is about understanding human nature and why we keep searching for something better, even when we have more than enough. Through thought-provoking arguments, Manson suggests that the solution isn't to hope for a better future, but to embrace the present moment fully, even with its struggles. The uncomfortable truth: why we are never satisfied. Manson begins the book by presenting an uncomfortable truth: suffering is inevitable. No matter how much progress humanity makes, life will always contain pain, struggle, and dissatisfaction. However, instead of accepting this reality, people try to escape it. Society tells us that if we just get that next promotion, find the right partner, or buy the perfect house, we will finally be happy. But the truth is, no matter how much we achieve, we will always find something else to want. This is because of the way the human brain is wired. Our ancestors had to constantly seek out food, shelter, and safety to survive. Their minds evolved to focus on problems, because ignoring problems often meant death. While modern humans no longer face the same survival threats, our brains still function the same way. If we don't have real problems, we create artificial ones. This is why people in developed countries, who have all their basic needs met, often feel just as unhappy as those struggling in poverty. Manson argues that hope itself is a form of suffering. When we hope for something, we are admitting that we don't have it, and this creates dissatisfaction. People assume that hope is necessary to keep moving forward. But what if the very act of hoping keeps us trapped in a cycle of never being satisfied? The solution, he suggests, is not to avoid suffering but to embrace it. The battle between the thinking brain and the feeling brain. One of the most fascinating insights in the book is Manson's explanation of how the human mind operates. He breaks it down into two competing forces: the thinking brain and the feeling brain. The thinking brain is rational, logical, and makes calculated decisions based on facts. It tells us to exercise, save money, and work hard for future rewards. The feeling brain, on the other hand, is emotional, impulsive, and driven by desires. It wants instant gratification, avoids discomfort, and often overrides the thinking brain. Most people believe that their rational mind is in control, but Manson argues that this is an illusion. The feeling brain is actually the one driving the car. It decides what we want, and then the thinking brain justifies those desires with logic. This explains why people struggle with discipline. We might know that we should eat healthy, but if the feeling brain wants junk food, it will always win. The key to self-improvement, Manson explains, is not to fight the feeling brain but to train it. Instead of trying to force ourselves to do things we don't want to do, we should find ways to emotionally connect with the actions that benefit us. True change happens when our desires align with our long-term goals, not when we try to suppress them. The power of religion, ideologies, and belief systems. Humans have always clung to belief systems, whether religious, political, or philosophical, because they provide structure and meaning. Hope is built into these systems, offering people a sense of purpose and guiding them through life's struggles. Manson examines how organized religion has historically given people a framework to navigate the chaos of existence. It provides moral codes, community, and an explanation for suffering. But as traditional religions have declined in influence, new ideologies have taken their place. Social justice movements, nationalism, consumer culture, and even self-help philosophies. While these belief systems may look different from organized religion, they serve the same purpose: to give people hope. However, there's a danger in blindly following any ideology. When people believe they have found the truth, they stop questioning things and lose the ability to think critically. Manson warns that rigid belief systems, no matter how well-intentioned, can become dangerous when they encourage tribalism and discourage independent thought. The paradox of progress: why more comfort leads to more anxiety. One of the most paradoxical ideas in the book is that despite living in the most advanced and comfortable period in history, people feel more lost and anxious than ever before. Manson argues that this is because struggle is what gives life meaning. When life is difficult, people are forced to develop resilience and problem-solving skills. But in a world where technology has made everything easier, people have fewer real struggles to overcome. This has led to a rise in artificial problems, self-esteem issues, social media anxiety, and existential crises. Instead of worrying about survival, people now worry about status, validation, and online approval. Manson suggests that this is why people who have faced hardship often have a stronger sense of purpose. Struggle forces growth, and overcoming difficulties gives life meaning. Without struggle, people become fragile, anxious, and desperate for a sense of purpose. The death of hope and the freedom of acceptance. One of the boldest claims Manson makes is that we don't actually need hope. Hope is based on the idea that things should be different from how they are. But what if, instead of constantly seeking something better, we simply accepted the present moment for what it is? Most people believe that happiness comes from achieving goals, but Manson argues that real peace comes from letting go of the need for things to be different. This doesn't mean giving up on ambition or growth. It means understanding that no external achievement will ever bring lasting fulfillment. True contentment comes from accepting life as it is, including its pain and uncertainties. Final thoughts: choosing meaning over hope. Manson's ultimate message is not about giving up hope. It's about finding something deeper than hope. Instead of constantly searching for happiness, we should focus on what struggles we are willing to endure. Life will always contain suffering, but the key is to choose meaningful suffering. Whether it's building a career, raising a family, or pursuing a passion, fulfillment comes from investing in something greater than ourselves. Instead of trying to eliminate pain, we should embrace the pain that comes with a purpose. In the end, Everything is Fcked is not just a book about hope, it's a book about responsibility. Instead of waiting for things to get better, we should take ownership of our lives. Instead of hoping for happiness, we should build a life that is worth the struggle. And instead of searching for meaning in external achievements, we should find meaning in the process itself. Manson doesn't offer easy answers, but that's the point. Life is messy, painful, and often unfair. But if we stop trying to escape that reality and learn to embrace it, we might just find the freedom we've been looking for all along. Stay tuned for more enlightening content. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe the world icons.